Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture. Today is the 10th episode of Movie Monday, and we're going over the Disney Plus original series called Wandavision. So, Wandavision is the first media, TV show or movie that's kicking off the Phase 4 of the MCU. Marvel Cinematic Universe. So in this one, this is pretty much, we're finally moving into a more direction where we're talking about individual people to move on to the Phase 4. And this is the actual official first original series. So I actually liked it. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was way more I expected. Actually, I don't think I expected anything. I was sitting back just because I knew there was some comic things that they're basing off on with the House of M, and that one kind of direction where she says, like, no mutants, even though we don't have mutants yet, so she's doing her own little bubble, where she kind of sprouts out her own, like, kids, and they have their own powers, and she lives a life pretty much with her and Vision living their own little life together. But it's also based on the way that the style goes is very like classic sitcom kind of direction, which is nice. And it seems like she is controlling this whole town and making them go on the roles of her little fantasy that she wants to do. And that's really a fucked up direction to do, but I really love how they did it. And so each episode goes through each time period. So it goes like, the first episode is in the 50s, so you have to kind of love I Love Lucy, the Dick Van Dyke kind of show, and it has that where she's like dressed in all like this cute little dress, and he's going to work, and it's very like black and white, which is really nice. And then the next episode it goes into the 60s. We have the kind of Bewitched kind of direction, and then it goes in the 70s, the next one, 80s, and then finally ends with 90s to 2000s, and then the next one is the 2010s with the kind of modern family direction. I love each period. I think my favorite was the 90s to 2000s with the Malcolm in the Middle, kind of like having the kids kind of break the fourth wall and looking at you like, Dad always does this, blah, 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 kind of thing. It was really fun. It definitely gave me a lot of flashbacks to that direction due to the fact that I am a 90s kid. So yeah, I really liked it. I love the whole time jumping pieces, and I love that as things kind of go throughout the series, you start seeing that she's realizing, she's like, wait a minute, there's things that are glitching, and I don't really understand why. And you start seeing some of the other people kind of crack a little bit. They're like, wait, what's happening? Kind of thing. You also see Vision kind of start seeing like he's also being controlled in some way. And he's like, I need to figure out what's going on. And we already know, spoiler alert, and for people that do watch this MCU, I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you've already seen, like you've been acknowledged about the MCU direction of how they keep everything pretty much in order. So we already know that Vision is dead. He died in the Avengers Infinity War, and she went to go visit him in one of the episodes and just completely just broke down because the sword, not shield, is now has been taking Vision apart to make him into this different type of like weapon, and she falls apart so bad, the fact that she doesn't have them or anything, that she goes to the house where they're supposed to be living together because they promise they will live a happy life afterwards, I guess. And she just completely just poof her powers into making everything into this kind of like TV shows and like sitcoms, due to the fact that she grew up with sitcoms and those kind of things when she lived where she lived before. And so I thought it was really nice. Shout out to Elizabeth Olsen. Love the fact that she did a great job. She plays Wanda Maximoff so well, and I love the fact that we finally got her name being called Scarlet Witch at the very, very near the second episode, I feel like. Also, shout out to Tiona Paris, who plays Monica Rambeau. Oh my god, she killed it. Easily killed it. This was cake to her too, and she just instantly came in, and I love the fact that she's already a star at her own stuff. So the fact that she's in MCU is really great. I definitely want to see what's going to happen with her, with Monica when she meets Captain Marvel for the first time. Well, again, since she saw her as a kid inside the Captain America or Marvel movie. I'm not going to break down too many things because it's the whole fact that we're ordered, that everything's in order and everything. You have to know this, to know this, to know that, to know that. It's exhausting. So I'm just going to give you just the review of this show. If you want to look for more, there's videos all over the place. So yeah, I really give it to her. She did a great job. I love how they introduced her power, to the fact that she had to go through. Wanda put this whole force field around this town so she can live her life through there. And so Monica decides to just kind of push her way through the force field due to the fact that not everybody can get in. And if you do get in, you get forced into a role. But this time, for some reason, she didn't get into a role, and she gained all this power too, just going through the barrier. I love that Randall Park is back. When he was in, he played Jimmy Woo, and he pretty much kills it, of course. And he is part of the, see, I'm doing it again. He's part of the Ant-Man, movies. And so, nice to see him. Nice to see Kat Dennings playing Darcy Lewis, who pretty much was part of the Thor movies. So yeah, it was really good. Now, one thing that I loved, but hated at the same time, was the fact that they brought back Pietro Maximoff, who's being played not by Andrew something. I forgot his whole little thing. He's a 3-name thing like Patrick Neo Harris. So he comes, but it's not him. It's Evan Peters' character from the X-Men franchise. So it made me think, are we finally kind of merging things together? And then we find out that we're not merging things together at all. He's just an actor, which gave me questions so how did he become fast? If he was being controlled and he's just an actor, where did the powers come from? It didn't really make any sense to me. It also didn't make any sense to me the fact that we all know of the X-Men, and we all know that he is part of it. So I get the nod, and you're hee, did he get it? But it's just he didn't do anything with it due to the fact that you also have been inching at the fact that there's a direction that X-Men will pop themselves into it, and then we can finally say mutants for fuck's sake. So yeah. So anyways, I love the fact that he was in it. I love me some Evan Peters. I think he's amazing. But the fact that he wasn't really anything, and his real name is Ralph Boner, was kind of a childish joke. I don't know. It just felt from all the cleverness that MCU and the directors with all the other movies, just kind of felt that reveal kind of felt kind of lackluster. Another person I really, 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 really loved was Catherine Hahn. Oh my god, she killed it. And she always usually plays the best friend that's silly and goofy kind of thing, and kind of brings the light to everything, and snarky kind of thing. But she finally has a role where she is herself, or she's not herself, where she plays a villain in a way. She's supposed to play Agnes/Agatha, and who's actually a witch, and a very, very powerful witch at that. And she's supposed to be even more powerful than Scarlet, or than Wanda, but of course the comics are not being, they're inspired by the comics, not really using everything from the comics, which is it's a bittersweet thing for me. I think she did a great job playing the illusion that she was under the spell, but really she was just trying to figure out how the hell did Wanda do this, and then she's I want your powers, and tried to take it, and of course it didn't work out. But she does a great, great job. I think she was hilarious. I love her. I want more and more and more of her. Paul Bethany did a good job. I think, he did what he needed to do for Vision. I love the fact that he did get a little more emotion in this when he gets mad, when he's Wanda, what's going on, kind of thing. I felt that was really nice to see him actually have a little more emotion as Vision. I feel we didn't really get a lot of that before. there's not really anything else I have much to say about this. But I'm really excited. I'm glad to see that this is happening. I'm really excited what's going to happen with the Doctor Strange and the, I think it was Dimensions of Madness or something of Madness. I'm really excited for that, to see how this ties in together. I know that Marvel knows, or that the MCU knows what they're doing, kind of thing, that people are doing it. I get they know what they're doing, but at the same time, for me, it's the waiting for everything on top of just like, how are you going to follow the comics, or are you just going to go a complete different way like you did in Civil War? I'm just like, okay, I guess we can only deal with a couple of stars, and it's not because we couldn't just add a shit ton of people, we just didn't feel like it, it's just, I get it, but I think only reason that I feel like they can only do so much before they introduce the X-Men, but I really feel like once the X-Men are in, then everything can kind of open up a little more. So until then, we're just going to have to deal with like substitutions and fake outs and shit like that. One thing I do want to point out, that I said this all the time, because I am a DC fan first, but I do love me comic. I do love me Marvel. I have my own comics of them. I have both from both places. But I always feel like people get kind of, like the MCU fans get kind of cocky about, they're like, oh, we are still organized, so we're better. And I was like, if it wasn't for Disney, you guys wouldn't be shit. But aside from that, I do support. But at the same time, I also get so scared because we're now hitting a spot where we're touching on characters, Marvel characters are not really popular or known. So I know that they did a good job with introducing some of the other ones, like Black Panther, who is known but not as known to the public. So to everybody. So I'm glad that that worked out. But they have a lot of other people coming through that I'm not really sure. Oh, and also I love the fact that they did the Guardians of the Galaxy really well. So everybody loved that. So I'm hoping that it works out. But I can also feel this weird fatigue from the public. Not me. I can take years and years of comic movies. But I can kind of feel like the whole popular vote direction is kind of just like meh, meh, meh. Because there wasn't as big of a wave of people watching WandaVision as there was during the first three phases of MCU. So I'm curious to see how it's going to kind of keep itself with longevity, but we'll shall see. Time will tell. I give this a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 because I just don't really, I felt like the first 3 episodes really dragged. Like I almost gave it up, but I didn't, because I knew that the MCU knows that they like to grow things slowly. So I had to be patient with it, and I knew that I love the characters. But yeah, I give 4 out of 5. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe, and hit the notification button too, so you get more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next video.